I'm in Lucindale, which is just across the South Australian border near the Coonawarra Wine District. But they also grow cattle here. Some of the best cattle in Australia for the Grasslands brand. A little later on, I'm going to help the Giles family gather up the cattle. I think they call it rustering or mustering, I'm not sure what it is. But what I'm going to do to give myself some energy is make my Texan kebab on this skewer and cook it over the coals over there. And to start with, what I'm going to do is get some mince. And you need to use good premium mince because that's what makes the kofta really good. Now what I'm going to do is put my mince in the bowl here, and you can see it's got a little bit of paper on the back of it. Make sure you take that off because it's a little bit chewy. Now what I'm going to do is add some chives that are already cut straight onto the meat, some coriander as well straight onto the meat, about 1/4 cup of each, and some red onions that I've cut. Now I'll just make sure I get all of that and pop it into my mince. And I've got a clove of garlic. What I'm going to do is microplane it on this so it becomes nice and fine. About 2/3 of a clove is all you need, and you just give it a bit of a tap and the garlic goes onto the meat. Now what I'm going to do is add some smoked paprika, and it gives it a lovely flavour. Also some cumin just to give it a lovely bit of flavour as well. Now you can toast the cumin if you want, but if you want to take it straight out of the jar and add it to here, that's fine. Now I've got some of my Texan sauce here, and you can use any sort of ancho sauce, but this Texan sauce is delicious. I make it myself with peppers, lots of spice, a little bit of vinegar, and a lot of chilli. That is hot. And to add a little bit of extra heat, I've got some Tabasco sauce. I'll just take the lid off that and add a few drops. Now, if you think Tabasco sauce is hot, it's not really that hot. It's just got great flavour. You can grab a few drops of it like that, and it's got that beautiful flavour, and it's not as hot as you think. Although this one is tasting a little bit hot. I'm going to add some pepper in there as well, a good twist of black pepper. You can use white pepper if you want, but I like black pepper straight from the pepper mill, and of course some salt. Salt loves meat, meat loves salt, and you can't cook any meat at all, whether it's mince or steak, without salt in there, and I like plenty of salt. If you don't like salt, don't cook meat because they need each other. Now a little bit of a mix up with your hands, and this takes a couple of minutes just to make sure it all combines nicely together. I like to mix this for a minute or so to make sure everything is really well combined, and that way it'll stick onto my skewer. There we go. You can tell it's ready because it becomes quite sticky, and that's what you want. When you wrap it around the skewer, it'll stick really well. The last thing you want is it dropping off into the fryer. Now what I'm going to do is grab my skewer like this, and you can use thin skewers if you want, but I'm going to cook this over the fire, and I want it nice and firm. And a little tip is I try and use a flat skewer. When you use a round skewer, as the meat cooks, it actually rolls off the skewer, and this way it'll stay on nice and flat. What I will do is take this, put a little bit of sprinkle of salt on the top of it, and all I need to do is cook it and put it in my roll. 15 minutes or so and the kofta's cooked beautifully. I've turned it over a few times so it's cooked evenly on all sides. If you're going to make a Texan kofta, you've got to have some pickles on there, and these are delicious. Open your bread roll, add a few down the middle here, and of course some American mustard, a nice spoonful of that. Here we go. Smear that all the way down the inside of the roll. Now here's the good part. You've got to pick it up nice and gently like this, and make sure if the skewer's hot, maybe use a tea towel to grab it and then pop it through the middle. Make sure your roll's sliced nice and big like that, and then in it goes. Grab it with the top there and take the sword out. That looks fantastic, and it smells great as well. And when you cook it over the open coals like this in the outdoors, it tastes even better, believe me. That is really good.